and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network this Thursday night. It's the super late model series here this Thursday night, taking place for the Semi Racing Association GM Parts XPerts Super Late Model Series. And coming at you here tonight, race number 4 of the 11 race series taking place at Lanier National Speedway. We're going to go to the playing of the national anthem when we come back. We've got a lot of race action to come your way. 150 laps here tonight. So stay tuned, folks. The Lanier National 150 is coming right up. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network this Thursday night. Race number 4 of the 11 race series here at Lanier National Speedway. It's the Semi Racing Association's GM Parts XPerts Super Late Model Series taking place here this evening. It's going to be 150 laps here at Lanier National Speedway. Drivers are putting down some practice laps, getting these cars dialed in before we go racing. Qualifying session has come to a close, but let's take a look at the track information here tonight at Lanier. It is a 3/10 of a mile track, just a little bit over it. Weather information here tonight, 75 degrees with 63% humidity, a little bit of overcast. And 75 degrees matching track temperature, a little bit warmer conditions, but I think we'll still have some good side-by-side race action taking place here this evening. Talking about the points. At the top of the points, it is still the 05 of Casey Kelly. Still out there leading by a narrow margin. I believe it's about 25 points. He's out just ahead of Joe Schaefer Jr., so the Whelen and Dealin Motorsports teammate Casey Kelly is going to be one of the formidable opponents to watch here tonight. As he will try, Joe Schaefer Jr. will try to score some extra points to get up there. Back in third position, however, it is Darrell Hamlin, who we saw do a number change last week. Shaved off the Kodiak skull or the Kodiak bear paint scheme, put on a new one, the new number 7. And it looks like it's holding true for him here tonight, as he will be third in points coming into tonight's race. Josh Dietz back in fourth, rounding out your top five in points. James Wenzel. Derek Robinson is back in sixth. Derek Holzhausen in seventh. Jeremy Adams, eighth. Matt Rolfe, ninth. And David Krikorian rounding out your top 10 in the series points. Still a lot of points up for grabs, as we're not even to the halfway point of this series yet. So these drivers finding out what tracks work for them, where to put in the most effort, the most time, to be able to give themselves enough opportunity to accumulate enough points. So when it's all said and done, coming up here in December, they could put themselves in the best position to grab that championship prize. Just a few more moments here, as it looks like they are getting ready to finish up these practice laps. Let's give a shout out to our sponsors here tonight. GM Parts XPerts.com. If you're looking for some quality GM parts for your GM product, check them out on the web at GMPartsExperts.com. Callaway Investments, HydesPride.com, H&H Sign Supply, Area 52 Designs, and also Toxic Media Solutions. Those are your series sponsors here for the Super Late Model Series. And some drivers having some issues there, as we saw some smoke coming out of one of the cars. Welcoming back tonight, the H&H Sign Supply car, the 37 of Tim Bills, will be making his way back onto the track. He missed last week, had a scheduling conflict, but he will be here at Lanier to continue to try to get towards the front in the series points. We saw him put up some good racing in the week one race at New Hampshire. Was a great race. Holthausen snuck away with a victory there, just 2 laps to go, and Bills went up into the wall out of turn number 2. Fortunately, that small pivotal mistake after dominating a total of 90 laps led in that race ended up in the wall, and Holzhausen came away with the victory in that race. So Tim Bills tonight making his way back here into the series, and we'll see if he's got what it takes here to be able to catch victory here at this track. Couple other guys to watch out for here tonight. Josh Dietz saw that 86 car definitely put down some good laps and some good hard racing at USA International Speedway. As you bring him up on the screen there, that 86 car, going to keep an eye out for him here tonight, as he's known to run really well at the smaller tracks. So we'll see if the TPR teammate is able to do that, and Dietz being a rookie member. Got a lot of rookies on the track, guys like Jason Stewart, Evan Sorensen, Logan Runyon, Josh Leidy, Devin Rogers, Jared Daniels, just to name a few of the rookie drivers you're going to possibly see out here. And it looks like the time has come to a close, so let's get over to the grid and see who's on the pole here tonight. As we take a look at the gridding action with a qualifying time of 12.91, and by invert, the number 54 of James Curl will start out on the pole. He'll have the 02 of Kyle Donahue to the outside. The number 65 powerhouse from last week, early on in the race, Bill Martin will be starting inside of that second row. The 86 of Josh Dietz will be round out your front 2 rows. The 92 of Ty Spearman, a heavy hitter back at USA, will round out your top 5 here tonight. He'll start back in the third row on the inside lane. To the outside, he'll have the 89 of Jeremy Adams. Tim Bills, Derek Holhausen, the week 1 powerhouses, will be back there in 7th, 8th position. 9th, Trevor Edwards, and rounding out that 5th row is the number 6 of Joe Schaefer Jr. Taking a look back through the field, Dale Owen, Wade Workard, James Wenzel, Connor Blaze, Devin Rogers, Matt Rolfe, Derek Kraus, Scott Naslin, Matthew Eddy, Derek Robinson, Kevin Donahue, Mason Dunn, Scott Dunlap, Ben Nile, Clay Snyder, Russell Berry, Chad Miller, and Cody Erdman will round out your field. Total of 28 cars here at the Lanier National 150. into the pits, this time by. Here we go, as it takes him into the backstretch.
Green.
And the green flag's in the air. Out to the race lead. Working that lower groove, as you can see, coming out of the turn. Into the third turn he goes. Oh, and a slide by Spearman.
Caution is out.
Ty Spearman, the 92 machine, got loose. Looks like he's going to be hung up also there with the 82 car. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. So the 02 machine right behind him, that's Kyle Donahue. And no helping hand from Donahue. That is all Spearman, and he's going to get tagged a little bit by that 82 machine. Fortunately, was able to slow the car down so he could save a lot of damage. That'll be caution flag number 1 on the night. So Bill Martin, we saw him lead early last week in that Old Dominion 116 at Richmond. Put down some good laps there and already looking like he's going to do the same here tonight. Here's a look at your top 5 on the bottom left. So it's Bill Martin, Josh Dietz, Tim Bills, Jeremy Adams, and Trevor Edwards. Rounding out the top 5 here on lap number 7. Warmer temperatures here this evening, making it a little bit difficult to run the car as hard as these guys want to. And the lights come off the pace car, so the 43 machine and Spearman will get the wave around. James Winsel, the 43 car. So Josh Dietz will be to the outside of Bill Martin, Tim Bills, and it looks like the 89 of Jeremy Adams will be out to the outside behind Dietz. Here we go, pace car into the pits.
Green flag.
There's the green flag. We're back to the race on lap number 9. Into the backstretch they go. Bill Martin still leading. Nice side-by-side battle between Dietz and Bills. Bills to the inside of the 86. As he works his way into the third and fourth turn. Bill still to the inside. Now edges out Dietz. Dietz trying for a little crossover move at the start-finish line. Dietz comes back to the inside. So Dietz will go back to second position. Bill's looking for a little crossover action. Not going to have it in turn 3 like he wanted. So Dietz will hold on to second position here until lap number 12. Bill's still behind Dietz. Adams back there behind Bills. The target machine that you see back there, that's Trevor Edwards. Early in fifth position, the 32 machine right behind him, Joe Schaefer Jr. Saw a good drive out of that 6 car last week as he was able to take the victory at Richmond. Bill Martin, nice sizable lead now, 6/10, 7/10 of a second gap over Josh Dietz. Starting to pull away just a little bit as we watch that time climb up towards 8/10 of a second as he heads into turns 1 and 2. Dietz still trying to battle Bills as he heads into the backstretch. Cars pretty much in a single file line at this point. Let's jump back to 10th position as we see Matthew Eddy. 3.3 seconds behind your race leader. has Devin Rogers, the 21 JBM machine, right behind him. Scott Dunlap, one of the guys thought to get a provisional here tonight, but qualified 23rd, is now up to 11th position as he makes his way through the turn. To the inside now of Rogers comes Clay Snyder, the 3 machine. Running the Brian Clausen of the Trinity paint scheme as he comes across into turn number 1. Darren Robinson right behind him, the number 8 machine. Back up front. Now almost towards a 9/10, and he's going to get it there in turn 1. Bill Martin. Total of 18 laps led here in the race. He's led them all, folks. Out of the 4th turn, into the front stretch he goes. And Josh Dietz now starting to get some breathing room. Right in front of the H&H Sign Supply 37 machine of Tim Bills. Jeremy Adams now feeling the pressure of Trevor Edwards as Edwards has made his way up to the bumper, looking to the inside. That Target machine looking to the inside. Here comes Schaefer Jr. taking a peek there in turn number 3 as he was looking to the inside of Adams. Oh, and a slide move from Holhausen. What a beautiful move, able to save it. Down in turn number 1, had the apron. He's able to hold on, staying in 8th position here in lap number 23, right in front of the 74 of Connor Blaze. Back up front, taking a look at Bill Martin still. Nice sizable lead, has crested over the 1 second mark. And Josh Dietz as well starts to pull away from Tim Bills. Looks about a 4/10 second gap, some heavy smoke coming out of that 61. That looks like it's Chad Miller's car. Chad Miller making his way down the apron. Heavy damage on that machine. He's going to dip into the pits here. And that might be all she wrote for the Miller car here tonight. Jr. now around Edwards, looking to dig into 4th position as he's right behind Jeremy Adams, the 89 machine just ahead. See a little bit of front-end damage on these cars from the checkup action early on in the race. And now Schaefer Jr. taking a look to the inside as he came out of turn number 2. Getting a quick peek and an opportunity to pass the 89 machine. He'll take a look here in the front stretch. He's going to make a run for it down to the apron. And Joe Schaefer Jr. to the inside of the 89 of Jeremy Adams in the battle for 4th position here on lap 29. Adams going to push a little bit out of turn 4. And Schaefer Jr. will be at door level in turns 1 and 2. Side by side into the backstretch. And Schaefer Jr. continues to battle for that 4th position slot. Joe's Racing Products Pathfinder chassis, the sponsors on that car. Now to the inside, continuing past the 89 machine. Nice side-by-side action here in the first couple turns on lap 32. Got to give credit to the 89 here of Adams, able to hold on to that middle groove, and that push right there has allowed Schaefer Jr. now to move into 4th position. And if you're Trevor Edwards back there in 6th position, you got to take a look at what Schaefer Jr. did to get around the 89 machine and start working it. It looks like he's doing that right now, taking a few peeks to the inside of the 89 machine. A little bump action possibly out of turn 4. And Trevor Edwards is going to look to the inside. Here comes the 32. Edwards taking a peek here in 30, and he's going to make a move. Edwards begins to dig. But Jeremy Adams holding on to that middle groove for dear life, and it is paying dividends here on lap 36 as he's able to stay out in 5th position ahead of Trevor Edwards. Connor Blaze, the 74 machine, has some push up to the high side as Robinson's going to go underneath, and now the 88 machine up next. Matthew Eddy's looking to the inside of Blaze. Into lap 38. Matthew Eddy, the 88 machine, to the inside. 2 of Scott Dunlap, excuse me. Right there behind Eddy. And Connor Blaze with a setup to work that outside line. And he's going to hold off the 88 machine. Back up front, Bill Martin catching lap traffic. Looks like he's about to head into the 97. That is Mason Dunn just ahead of him. Over a second to second and 3/4 lead over Josh Dietz. And you see the 86 of Dietz right there coming out of turn number 4 into the front stretch. As we get an update from our pit crew, Ty Spearman with the early spin out has called it quits for tonight. And Chad Miller, the 61 machine, not able to recover from the damages sustained earlier. So he will be done as well. And now Bill Martin with a total of 43 laps led starts to head into lap traffic. This could be a good sign for the 86 of Josh Dietz, as the lap traffic will slow up the progression of the 65 machine. And we may see some battling for the race lead come the next 5 to 10 laps. Derek Robinson battling for 5th position as he's to the inside of Trevor Edwards, moving into 6th. Working that lower groove really well in the 8 machine. Continues to move through the field. Derek Robinson, the T4X Racing teammate, Handsome Fellows Barbershop in Layrite. Sponsors on that car as he makes his way now into turn number 3. To the inside of the 89. Adams still holding it. Oh, Adams is going to make some contact with the wall, and that's going to give enough room for the 8 of Robinson to get around. And he'll do it. Robinson moves into the top 5 here on lap 48. Here comes Trevor Edwards. Trying to capitalize, but it looks like the 89 of Adams is going to come down to the lower groove. Looks like the 2 of Scott Dunlap trying to get around Connor Blaze here on lap 50. He's to the inside of the 74 machine, and Dunlap, another one of the T4X Racing guys, the iRacing Today radio show. Clinton County Motor Speedway, the sponsors on that machine. Take a short commercial break, folks. We'll be back.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SARA Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Donkey Overdrive.
right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here on lap 85. This is the Lanier National 150 here at Lanier National Speedway, the Sim-Auto Racing Association's GM Parts XPerts Super Late Model Series. Do apologize for the technical issues that we've endured here tonight, but glad to be back in action, and it looks like the 8 of Derek Robinson has worked his way up to the race lead after Bill Martin here, the 65 machine. Led a total of 73 laps, and Robinson now is working on a total of 14 as he crosses the start-finish line. So Bill Martin with a little bit of lap traffic in between as we see that 4 car just ahead, Russell Berry. And Bill Martin had to make a correction last week. Called this guy new to the series. He's quite the veteran and a member of that posse team. Skull Bandit is the sponsor on that 65 car as he works his way into the backstretch, trying to get around the 4 car of Russell Berry. Robinson 2.2 second and working on 2.5 seconds now as he heads into the backstretch. Gets around the 74 car of Connor Blaze. Blaze is still working that middle groove here tonight. Josh Dietz, who is running up in second, is still sitting in third. The lap traffic here tonight has shaken the trees up quite a bit. Schaefer Jr. back in fourth. So we'll throw out a top 5 for you folks as the battle between Tim Bills and Joe Schaefer Jr. continues on here into lap 94. Robinson, Martin, Dietz, Schaefer Jr. and Bills your top 5. Tim Bills looking to the inside of Schaefer Jr. in turns 3, now turn 4. Behind these guys, here is the 32 of Trevor Edwards. Edwards out into the backstretch towards turn number 3. The number 2 of Scott Dunlap behind him, looking to the inside across the start-finish line. Here comes Dunlap. And the battle for 6th position as Edwards to the outside. Dunlap to the inside. Working that inside groove, hugging that yellow line. Should say he's pretty much living on it in turns 1 and 2. Here comes Dunlap again. Right behind him, the number 5 machine. That is Matt Rolfe. Fortunately, not a position battle taking place here behind Dunlap. Nice side-by-side battles continuing for 6th position as Trevor Edwards, the car on the outside. And Dunlap with the nose out front. Cutting the course underneath that apron. He's trying, he's working hard. Rolfe right on the bumper through the turns 1 and 2. And now Dunlap yet again. He gets any closer, he's going to cut that wall. He's making that lower groove stick. And the 2 machine now gets out in front by 3/4 of a car length. Can he edge out that 32 of Trevor Edwards? Looks like Dale Owen back there behind Trevor Edwards, and now Joe Schaefer Jr. in the mix. Tim Bills able to get around Schaefer Jr., but here comes Dunlap and Edwards with the battle up into the top 5. Schaefer Jr., the 6th machine up there, currently in 5th position. Still continuing to dig in that lower groove. Scott Dunlap putting these tires to work here on lap 105. And it looks like Dunlap is going to have it. Rolfe nearly staring down 3 wide coming out of turn number 2. Is going to back off just a little bit. And now Dunlap out in front. Schaefer Jr. feeling the pressure of Trevor Edwards. And Schaefer Jr. with a push in the first couple turns. It's going to fall back to 9th position. Trouble there for the 6 car. He developed a little bit of a push there, and it looks like not really pressing the envelope. Uncharacteristic move here of the 6 machine. Normally we would see this car hammering through the field. Here comes your race leader, Derek Robinson, now with Schaefer Jr. ahead. Robinson has this car on a rail, and if you've been following the first 3 races of this series, folks, you know this car and this driver paired up together is a major force to watch, as this guy can definitely find his way through the track. It doesn't matter if he's up front, in the middle, or in the back. This car will find its way towards the front at one point of the race. He has got a 5, almost 6-second lead over Bill Martin. Comfort City right there for the 8 machine. Bill Martin has 2 cars in between him and Josh Dietz. Looks like the 74 of Connor Blaze and the 30 machine. And it looks like they're going to go to a single file line. So Josh Dietz still in 3rd position, although Tim Bills right there behind Rolfe ahead of Dunlap. Now can feel the pressure from the 2 machine as Dunlap is looking to the inside of Bills. And the battle for 4th position. And a move. Tim Bills trying to head out. Here comes the 2 of Scott Dunlap. Bills protecting the inside, knowing that's where Dunlap wants to go as he takes a peek in turn 3. Bills can sense that Dunlap wants to get around. Here comes Scott Dunlap to the inside, and the race down to the apron. Tim Bills trying to hold off that 2 car. Here on lap 118, Scott Dunlap, a little bit of bump action in 4, but it's going to be enough. Tim Bills is going to go up to the middle groove. And the 2 of Scott Dunlap has now moved up into 4th position. Although Tim Bills is working that outside groove, and he's got some momentum back. Tim Bills may have found something new out there on the high line as he's got some momentum. Scott Dunlap was working that lower groove, and we've seen it here tonight. He's definitely got the lower groove on lockdown. This guy can work that apron with no issue. Tim Bills was trying to protect the inside, but no need now, as that 37 machine definitely has the outside momentum here into lap 121. And Dunlap rallying back now. Has the grip expired for the 37 on the outside line? It looks like it, as the 2 of Scott Dunlap is now by Tim Bills and has moved safely into that 4th position slot, pushing the 37 car back into the 5th position slot. Ironically, as we're watching this battle, take a look at this, folks. Out of turn 4, there is your race leader, Derek Robinson, into the first couple turns here in lap 125. It's going to be 25 laps to go the next time by. And Robinson will look to the inside of Edwards here in turns 1 and 2. Bill Martin across the start-finish line. That gap gets worse and worse for Martin as the lap cars ahead of him not providing any solitude or line that he can get around easily. comes Derek Robinson into the third turn. Looking to the inside of Russell Berry here in the front stretch. Top 5 on your screen: Robinson, Martin, Dietz, Dunlap, and Bills. The 88 machine of Matthew Eddy battling with Tim Bills for 6th position as the 88 car to the outside. Tim Bills now working the inside groove. We saw Bills work the outside lane against Dunlap, who is now ahead of him by about 0.6 of a second. And Tim Bills continuing to work the inside groove. Right behind him is your race leader, Derek Robinson. Side-by-side action. Not letting the leader by. This could help out Bill Martin as we start to see that car behind up there on the ticker start to creep down, although it is 8 seconds. Derek Robinson does not really need to press the envelope here, as it's going to be 16 to go when he crosses the start-finish line. So Bill Martin comfortable in 2nd position. Right behind the 97 machine of Mason Dunn. Oh, wow. Take a look at that battle. That hoopla of cars there. Black and pink. And Scott Dunlap with a little bit of muscle room there. Telling them all to move over as he wants to make sure that Matthew Eddy does not have a shot at challenging him for that position. Robinson now able to work his way around Bills behind Matthew Eddy. Question you got to ask yourself is all these cars, oh, we got some incident there. As the 89 car went up into the wall, Jeremy Adams, who is running up in the top 5 here tonight, unfortunately back in 16th position, hit the wall there in the start-finish line area. Now with 10 laps to go, Robinson gets around all the lap traffic. And Tim Bills comes back around. So Robinson still holding on to over a 7-second lead. Take a look at this. Tim Bills trying to move the slide route through the lap traffic as he's working his way towards Matthew Eddy. Scott Dunlap, however, looking really solid. Oh, and it looks like we've got Clay Snyder, who's going to go for a spin right there at turn 3. So as we go back and take a look here on Clay Snyder's car, the 02 machine is going to tag him as we show you that action there. So looks like Kyle Donahue is going to get the 3 car of Clay Snyder loose. And ladies and gentlemen, as Clay Snyder backs up to the wall, it's a good point to point out, if you're looking for some camping time RV action, maybe some Comcast cable, take a look at them sponsors on the wall as we take a look at our sponsors here. This series sponsors tonight: GMPartsExperts.com, Callaway Investments, HydesPride.com, H&H Science Supply, Area 52 Designs, and Toxic Media Solutions. Get a little quick plug in there for the sponsors. So Clay Snyder with some damage there on the car as Kyle Donahue pushed right up into the quarter panel out of the second turn. Now, one thing I want to let you folks know, for those of you who are tuning in, maybe this is your first week watching, we had 2 consistent weeks of green-white checkers. Question's going to be here tonight. Will we get the third? I'm not sure why.
All right, man. Like you back on the pace car. We're not going green this time. We're not going green.
So I'm not sure what happened to Derek Robinson, but in the fray here, Bill Martin has worked his way up to the front, as well as Josh Dietz. A lot of confusion here at the end of the race, as we now have 2 laps to go. They love doing this to me, folks. It's going to be a green-white checkered. Bill Martin, Josh Dietz, Scott Dunlap, Matthew Eddy, the front 4. Derek Robinson back there in the 5th position slot. Here we go. It's going to be a green-white checkered.
Green, green, green.
The green flag is out. Now the white flag. 1 more lap to go. Bill Martin tonight. What a bittersweet victory this will be for the 65. As he heads into the 4th turn, no one's going to beat him. The 65 of Bill Martin takes victory here at Lanier. Celebratory fireworks as we take you up to the blimp cam. Up in the air. Well, we had one of them. Sorry about that, Bill. I think they gave you more than just one firework. But what a finish here tonight. Drama at the end of the race, especially for Derek Robinson, a guy who led 71 laps of this race. Pretty much the later half of the race, 79, went to this guy right here, Bill Martin. So the guy I called a rookie last week, the seasoned, grizzled veteran, if you will, has picked up a victory 1 week later here at Lanier. And he comes down to victory lane. Nice little burnout action for you there, folks. Although he does pay for the car out of pocket and all the repairs, so we're not going to see too heavy of a burnout here. So he's going to give you a nice little Polish victory lap. While Martin does that one more time, shout out to the sponsors. GMPartsExperts.com for your GM products. Check them out on the web. Callaway Investments, HeightsPride.com, H&H Signs Supply, Area 52 Designs, and Toxic Media Solutions. Here comes the 65 of Martin. We may need to get somebody from race control to talk a little bit about what happened with Bill Martin. There's a burnout from Bill. There you go. Bill Martin able to take victory, but question looming in the audience here is what happened with Derek Robinson. So we'll bring up the results here on your screen, folks. And before we go to interviews with the drivers, we're going to bring in one of the guys that known to have an insider knowledge here in the race control booth. I'm going to bring in Matt Rolfe real quick here. Got a question looming in the audience here. What happened there at the end with Derek Robinson? We were showing the replay with the push from Donahue to Snyder up into the wall in turn 3. Robinson with a nice solid 7-second lead at the end there. What happened there with Robinson? Is there anything you can fill us in on?
Yeah, I was on the TeamSpeak channel with him, and we did have extra tires available for this race, and so for as long of a green flag as we had there, he was kind of the sitting duck out there up front. Either he was going to pit and everyone else was going to stay out, or vice versa, he would have stayed out and some guys might have pitted and been on new tires. I personally didn't even realize we only had 2 laps to go there at the end, so I was telling him he was good, and not enough time, and then they got together on the restart a little bit. But he was kind of a sitting duck there. Didn't know if he should take tires or not, and ended up being the wrong call. But he was a rocket ship all night.
Definitely was over. We seen at one point over an 8-second gap over Bill Martin, and tough break there for that team to go so far. 71 laps led, and to make a late race call like that, definitely can hear the frustration out of that team. So Matt, thank you much for filling us in on that. A lot of people out there in the audience was questioning. I even myself up here in the booth was so focused on the replay there with Clay Snyder, knowing that we were going to have a few more laps to go. Wanted to definitely clue everybody in on what happened with Robinson.
Yeah, it's a tough deal there, but that's how it goes here sometimes. But other than that, it was a good race overall. It definitely sucks on his end, but it worked out in favor of Bill Martin, so nice job to him on the win. And thanks for the broadcast here tonight.
Not a problem. Thank you, Matt. So there you have it, folks. That's what happened. A late race pit stop from the 8 team. Derek Robinson went down with just a few laps to go. Unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time cost him the victory here tonight. So we're now going to be joined here by the 88 machine. Matthew Eddy joins us now here, as it was a good night for you, Matthew. How Racing, Don's Towing sponsors on your car. You're able to work your way up here to a podium finish in 3rd position. Tell us a little bit about your night and what it was like battling these guys out here at Lanier. Sometimes people get stage fright, folks. We do apologize. It's Matthew Eddy. A little bit of stage fright there, so we're going to move on now up to the 86 of Josh Dietz. Josh Dietz, no stranger to being up front, at least in the top 5 as well. And tonight you're able to bring your TPR car or team up into a runner-up finish here at Lanier. Tell us a little bit about your night and what you endured out here at this track.
Yeah, we didn't do any testing, really. I didn't do any testing until about 5 minutes before the race. I wish I had more time. Got to thank Jeremy Adams for building that set and getting it right for me. We made a few changes before. We thought there was going to be a lot of cautions in this race, and when they said the 2-tire rule, we made a few changes to free up our car, so when we got 2 right side tires, it wouldn't get tight on us, and then we ended up having that long run, so it worked against us. But can't complain with a 2nd place finish there. I wish I had a chance on that restart, but I spun my tires in pretty much every gear there was.
Well, it does work out to your favor here tonight. Is there anything you want to comment on the late race pit from Derek Robinson?
I was debating doing it, honestly, with only having, I don't know how many cars there was on the lead lap, but there was less than 7, I think. If they went in, I wasn't going to go, and I decided, but, early on we were talking about it. If we had a situation like that with less than 10 to go, if we were going to pit. I thought it was a good call for him at first, but then we got that extra little yellow that Matt threw out, and I think that pretty much put him in. I don't think he had anywhere to go in 1 lap.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work out in his favor. He is able to salvage a 6th place finish here tonight. But coming up next week, we move here out of Lanier into Irwindale, kind of working our way out to the West Coast. Is there anything we can expect from you out there?
Well, our super late model team isn't as good as the other classes, but we've been working on it. We're real good. We're real strong on the short tracks. We're pretty strong at USA, but we've been struggling at the like Richmond and New Hampshire. We struggle at them size tracks, but it looks like the rest of the schedule, besides one, we're going to be on some small tracks, so hopefully we'll be up front.
All right. Well, congratulations. Is there any final thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give for your runner-up finish tonight?
Again, I just want to thank Jeremy and everybody else, Wade Ruckard, James Curl, all of them.
All right. Well, congratulations again. We'll see you next week at Irwindale.
See you.
All right, folks, we're going to go to the winner of the race here tonight. And Bill, you gotta be kind of happy pulling off a victory here with a little mistake. You ran, talk about leading over 70, 78, 79 laps here tonight. You're able to get the victory after a mistake from the 8 team as Derek Robinson's car down pit road. Caution comes out a little bit late for him. He was making the decision not quite. There must have been some miscommunication there, but you're able to capitalize. And before we get to your response here, I got to apologize. I called you a rookie last week. That was my mishap there, so I'm going to take a second here to apologize to you. And unfortunately, your veteran status shows here tonight as you're able to pick up the victory here at Lanier. Tell us a little bit about your race here tonight.
Oh, Jesus, I'm talking on the wrong channel. Hey,
How you doing?
I was pressing the wrong damn button. Hi. Yeah, me and this track aren't usually friends at all. I'm usually really mediocre at best here. Spearman helped me out, setup-wise, for the race. Ended up being really good, but I don't know what Derek was using. Evidently an SK disguised as a super late because he was freaking flying. But usually, you know, when it comes to pit stops like that at the end of the race, you want to do the opposite of what the leader does and then kind of hope everybody follows your lead. But that was, I didn't know he went into the pits. He was so far ahead when the yellow came out. I couldn't tell that he actually went down pit road, so I just guessed. And luckily, I guessed right, and everybody followed suit instead of doing what he did. That would have sucked. That would have sucked a lot.
Well, you're able to bring the Skull Bandit car to victory lane here tonight. Working all over this track. We've seen you up in the middle groove tonight, a little bit in the lower groove action. Warmer temperatures, probably about 75 degrees at the start of the race. Did you see a different line as the race went on, or did you seem like the same line was working for you?
The bottom was getting darker and darker, and I'm not used to the track and the tire the way it is now because I've been gone for like 2 months. So it was weird because I wasn't used to the track coming in and slowing down so much in that lane. And I was trying to pass somebody who was getting lapped, and I couldn't do it. So I followed their line in the lane they were at, and suddenly I was 3/10 quicker. And I don't know if Derek was taking it easy or not, but I noticed I was catching him at kind of a significant rate. I assumed that he was probably taking it easy because 8-second lead, you don't have to try too hard. But nonetheless, I mean, it was like a 3/10 difference just to move to the outside lane, and this track doesn't have an outside lane. So that speaks, you know, volumes for how the track changes over the course of time. It's pretty cool, actually. But yeah, I'm usually not good here, so most of the props go to Spearman for the setup because what I made was not that good.
Well, you're able to find victory lane, and that's all that matters at the end of the night. However you can get it, you'll take it. Is there any thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give for your victory here at Lanier?
Well, you did mention the car's a Skull Bandit card. It's not technically right now. Currently, right now, it is a paint job of a local sportsman driver that recently passed away, actually just a couple of weeks ago at our Oktoberfest races. He died in his camper, unfortunately. So I've been driving his car. I don't usually win races in the super late because it's the car I spend the least amount of time in. So if nothing else, I'm most happy to put this paint job in victory lane for him and his family.
Well, job well done here tonight, and condolences there on the loss. But Bill, you're able to get victory here tonight. We look forward to seeing some more action out of you next week. We roll out west to Irwindale.
Thanks, man.
There you have it, folks, and a neat little story there with that 65 machine. The car registers under Skull Bandit, but special paint job the last couple of weeks to honor a fallen racer that he had followed, and what a better way to give tribute than to put a car in victory lane. We're going to come back now to the 88 of Matthew Eddy, finisher on third position here tonight, and see if he's got his tongue untied here and he's able to talk. Are you there, Matt?
Yeah, I'm here now. Had a little technical issue.
That's all right. We're able to get an interview with you here tonight. What a night it was. You were battling the guys. You know, we've seen Trevor Edwards, Tim Bills, Scott Dunlap, all those guys you found yourselves around. Kind of at the end there, we saw Derek Robinson head down pit road, and it looked like a couple other drivers. You're able to come up and get your podium finish here tonight and bring the 88 machine all the way up to third, the Howe Racing Don's Towing Machine. Tell us, what are your thoughts on tonight's race here at Lanier?
Well, it was a surprisingly clean race for this little track. A lot of times there's a lot of cautions, but guys got things sorted out good. My plan was just go easy all day. I used about a quarter to a third throttle most of the race, I think, trying to save those tires. We had a big pack we raced with for quite a bit there. I was a little loose on the bottom, but it rolled the outside pretty good in the second groove.
Well, it's able to work it through, and you're able to finish third. Next week we roll into Irwindale, but is there any shout-outs you'd like to give for your third-place finish tonight?
I guess I'd like to thank Matt for running the series. He does a great job. It's a lot of fun, especially this year with the slightly longer races and the broadcasts and stuff. And look forward to next week at Irwindale.
All right. Well, congratulations again, Matthew. You're able to finish third here tonight. We look forward to seeing some more action out of the 88 machine as we roll into Irwindale next week for race number 5.
Thank you.
There you have it, folks. What a dramatic turn of events here tonight at Lanier. That's why you watch this series all the way to the end. 2 weeks in a row, we had green-white checkers. Nearly went 3 weeks with a late race incident between Kyle Donahue and Clay Snyder in turn 3, which forced an additional caution flag to throw out. Actually, we did have 3 weeks in a row. I'm losing my mind. 3 weeks in a row. This week, unfortunately, was forced by an additional lap thrown by race control, so it was forced into a green-white checkered. And what a way to go out here at Lanier. Tough break there for the Derek Robinson car, the number 8 machine, able to finish sixth though, after the late race pit stop. So Bill Martin, Josh Dietz, Matthew Eddy, Dale Owen, Derek Holzhausen will round out your top 5. Robinson, Wenzel, Bills, Edwards, and Dunlap rounding out your top 10. As we move back through the field, Naslin, Schaefer Jr., Nile, Donahue, Blaze through 15. Adams, Barry, Snyder, Wade Rookard, and James Curl rounding out the top 20. Final cars on the field tonight, Devin Rogers, Mason Dunn, Matt Rolfe, Cody Erdman, Kevin Donahue, Ty Spearman with a little bit of early spin on action, Chad Miller with the early incident there for the 61 machine will finish 28. Derek Krause just ahead of him in 27th position. Special shout out to our sponsors, folks. Again, one more time for tonight. The GMPartsExperts.com for your GM product. Find quality GM parts on the web at GMPartsExperts.com. Callaway Investments, HydesPrides.com, H&H Sign Supply, Area 52 Designs, and Toxic Media Solutions. Coming up next week, we roll out of Lanier out to the west coast to Irwindale for the Irwindale 125. 125 laps of super late model race action coming your way next week. Make sure to put that on your calendar, folks, as this is going to start heating up. Points battles becoming ever more of a factor, and we'll have to see how that'll play out for the Irwindale 125 next Thursday night. That is going to do it for us here tonight. However you've watched us, iRacing Live, YouTube, or Twitch TV, we thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. I'm Dustin Caldwell saying thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow night.